Let me send that out. I'm gonna do a little at everyone and make some people up.
All right. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Dreadlabs podcast. My name is Tom, and I'm here with Jesse Nyberg, aka Permanentglue. You
So
might know him from his YouTube channel, where he does like a lot of design-related content, or maybe from his Instagram, where he also posts a lot of design-related content. You guys sent us a couple questions on Instagram, and if you feel like asking us questions in the chat, you're also free to do that. And I guess we can just dive straight into it, right?
all
So
right,
Jesse,
I'm gonna pull up
welcome.
the chat. How you
Yes.
doing, man?
I'm fine, man. How was your week so far?
Pretty good. It's a little early over here. I woke up. I just had to get my coffee and get ready.
So for people in the chat, we actually scheduled this, and then we had like a kind of like a misunderstanding about the time. So
Yeah. Uh,
if we didn't catch it early, I would have been calling Jesse at 5:30 in his time. He would still be in his
yeah.
bed.
You wouldn't have got much good answers out of me at that time.
No, it was. I'm glad we caught it early because I also like didn't change the Instagram post yet. It should have been up right now.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah.
I kind of forgot
Yeah,
about
you
that as
always
well.
gotta get that stuff early because if you don't, like everyone already saves it, like the reminders and all that, and then
Yeah.
just messes everything up. I'm gonna post a little story real quick.
All
So we
right,
get,
man.
let's see, live now. Cool. That we look terrible in this photo I just took, but maybe they'll
It's
come to
fine.
see just what's wrong with us.
Have you seen the freeze frame of Jack? Like he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
talking.
Or he's like this, or he's like lifting his arm up.
Yeah.
It's all crazy.
Like
Yeah, I,
I think it's a top comment under the video as well. Like just the time frame where it just freezes up.
yeah. It's funny because yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like 30 minutes or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's good. I always it's always curious to see what the like comment's gonna be that does like the best on a video because I don't get like a ton of comments still, but usually the ones that I have at the top, they don't really matter at all. It's someone just
Yeah.
saying like,
It's like
yo, like or something stupid. Like
yeah,
it's not
thank
even
you.
actually like
Yeah.
yeah, it's so simple. Like Jack, he'll comment like big on all my like videos and it'll just sometimes that one will have like 20 likes. I'm like, geez, how do people even know what he's talking about with that?
I think they just like it because they know his name. Like they see like another
Yeah,
YouTuber's commenting or something. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. He was telling me I was talking with him like the other day. I know he wants to put out YouTube videos soon, but
Oh
he
yeah,
keeps telling me that he keeps recording them and then he's
yeah.
like, oh no, they're shit, and he deletes it.
He's a little bit too scared to be in the in front of a camera.
Yeah,
It
I
takes a
was
while getting
telling him
used to, I
though.
guess.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm sure you feel the same way. I mean, I still feel like mine like still are like I'm really nervous, and I've done
Yeah,
like 50 or whatever it may
yeah.
be. I think it takes I heard some guy talking saying something like takes like almost like 100 to get like actually comfortable or good or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just like starting to feel actually comfortable, but because I have to translate everything in my head and um, yeah, you know, like especially like saying design stuff and then translating it back to English and making it like
Yes,
into a proper sentence is like very hard still. And
I know.
like editing my raw videos is just so many times like it's and you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you use Premiere?
Yeah,
You see like the big just like pause in the audio. You're like gotta get that out of there,
yeah. You always see like the kind
Go
of
and
like the
cut it.
hills, and
Yeah, I hate that, and I think it's harder too, because I do some videos that are just like related to our industry, but I'm not actually in the program, right?
right.
And I talk so much better on those because it's really hard to actually like think of like concepts
Yeah,
and be talking about it and be trying to teach like
yeah.
all the things at once. I've seen some of mine. There's like a good 5 minutes where I forget and I'm just like, in the
Yeah.
zone, like with my mouth open. I'm like, oh, I forgot I need to be actually like. So I'll just do like I'll do like a speed up, and just
Yeah.
go through it or whatever.
You're completely right, man. Also, like someone's saying that we have very similar hair now.
Oh, I know. I just cut mine recently. My
I just have like
girlfriend's
shorter in the back.
my girlfriend's a hairstylist, so
Oh,
she always
really? Oh,
dyes my hair and shit.
that
Yeah,
must
I
be
got the
so good.
mullet now.
Like, we're oh nice, dude. Is it like did you were like the barbershops open in during like COVID and stuff here at your place?
Uh, Not really. So yeah, like she always did it at our house, so I was
Oh
good
yeah.
to go there. Even though I had the long hair, like I wasn't cutting it anyway. But they actually, what's today? The 15th. I was just talking to her. They actually just opened like at their salon. It's no more masks if you don't want
Oh
to.
really? Oh,
Like
that's
it's
nice.
like it's up, but a lot of them are still like people in LA are still like wearing masks. It's kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
it's like 50-50, some
Yeah.
people are like hell yeah, like fuck mask, and the other
Yeah.
people are kind of thinking, I'm still scared or
Yeah.
whatever.
So, are you getting vaccinated or not?
I already have.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
already vaccinated. Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah.
I just booked
I
my
did
appointment
both.
today.
Which one is it?
I'm not sure yet, but I have to get two. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know which one. There was like one or two that you can only have got one shot, I
Uh,
guess, right? But I'm not sure.
I did two, and it was like Moderna, and man, the second one, not even. I'm not trying to like do it. Definitely do it. I'm not trying
Yeah,
to scare you, but the second one was one of the worst like sicknesses I've ever felt, like ever.
yeah,
I woke up in
like a
the
proper flu.
Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night. My body was just like shaking. Like, oh, my girlfriend was like, "Yo, like, are you all right?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, this shit hurts." And then it's weird though, because you feel so bad, and then it's literally only like 12 hours of that.
Yeah,
It's gone. Like, I woke up the next day and I was good. But
it
your
was just
arm
the
hurts.
5G like getting through your body, man.
Yeah, I think it was all the signals that were shaking me up. I had to get in there.
So, Jesse, what did you have on repeat this week? Like some music, maybe, or like a video series or whatever.
Hmm. I feel like I watch a lot of podcasts. That's like what got me into it originally. But those ones I wouldn't. I'm not gonna choose that because those are like my repeat always. It's nothing new. I listen to a lot of like comedy ones. That's what I like to
Oh yeah,
watch. Like
comedy podcasts. Are you doing like
yeah,
during work or just like when you're like chilling out?
yeah, or after. Like I don't even watch that much Netflix. Like I'll just watch YouTube,
Oh
podcasts
yeah.
and other stuff. But let me see what I was listening to on some music. Because these comedy ones, like sometimes they're too distracting. You can't really work with them.
Yeah, I can
I'll just start
imagine.
laughing. Let's see. Honestly, I've been going back a lot and listening to kind of ever since like he passed, but a lot of like doom shit. So
Oh
I've just
yeah.
been listening to he has this album from one of his aliases called Take Me to Your Leader, and it's like King Ghidorah. That's like MF Doom's one of his like little aliases or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
And that shit's really good. It's dope.
Is it just
It's
like his usual like hip hop or?
yeah, but it's a little bit different like than like the comic book style shit.
Ah, right.
Because Ghidorah is like the three-headed dragon from Godzilla.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta check that
It's
out,
cool.
man. I've never really been into like I've seen like artworks of his and like his concept, and I've listened to like a couple of like songs of his, but
Hmm.
I've never really gotten into it. But then when I heard of his passing, I was like, oh, I need to get into his stuff, but like
Yeah,
I never found like the time to actually like properly dive into it, if you know what I mean.
yeah. He's cool. He's like one of the goats for sure, and I really like his style because he raps like in such a weird way where you think you know what he's gonna say next, and then he totally like
Yeah.
switches up the word. It won't even rhyme sometimes. It'll just be some other weird. And I like all the art. I actually talked to the guy recently. His name's like, you guys should check him out on Instagram. It's like Lamore Supreme. He does all the comic book shit
Oh,
for him.
really?
He does all the Czarface, like the Spider-Man stuff, like looking stuff, and I guess he's like a proper like comic book artist guy that they get to
Oh,
do all
that's
that.
crazy.
Cool. Yeah.
I gotta check that out, man. Oh, we even get similar mustaches. That's Erica
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, that's my girlfriend. That's
Oh,
funny.
really?
Yeah.
Welcome, Erica.
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
so I got a couple questions lined up for you. And the first one is by Jack from Elm Art Archive. Shout out to him.
yeah. Hmm.
What were you guys' first jobs, both like non-design and design? So you start.
Hmm. All right. Yeah, rip MF Doom. Let's see. My first job, what was it? Non-design was at Del Taco. I don't know if you guys have that over there. It's a
Uh,
fast food. Like it's kind
we
of like
like
Taco Bell.
we got only like 3 Taco Bells, and for the rest we only have like McDonald's and like Burger King.
Okay, so yeah, it's like that fast food Mexican restaurant. I worked in the drive-through when I was in high school, 16 years old, and that was really not that fun. A lot of the people are assholes, going the drive-through and stuff, and you're like 16. It's pretty stressful. I did that. One of my favorites though, that was non-design for sure, was I used to deliver for Pizza Hut. So drive
Oh,
around.
really?
That was cool because you could just drive around, listen to music, podcasts, and get tips. That was fun. For design, what was my first design? It's kind of hard to say because I had like internships and stuff like during school. I
Yeah.
don't know if those were at the campus, so I feel like they don't really count as much.
All
They're a
right.
little bit. You could just do your schoolwork there half the
Ah,
time,
yeah.
But my actual one was my first one out of school. I had an internship at this architecture office. So it was like a big firm in Long Beach. They
Hmm.
built called like it was called RDC, Retail Design Collaborative, and they built pretty cool shit for retail, like cool restaurants and things. And what I did there was basically design like a lot of the presentations and like some of the concepts for like signage for like the
Oh, yeah.
way in like parking lots and stuff and different. It was cool, but I always felt a little bit like undervalued there because they're
Oh,
all
yeah.
like architects. Like they think graphic design is just like one little element of like this entire
Yeah.
building. They don't really care that much.
Yeah,
So it was whatever.
it's not the best place to like thrive as a designer, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. What about
Um,
you then?
so my first job was as a like as a butcher, like you know how you have like a butcher inside the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like working there, like working the meat grinder, cleaning stuff up, like do like simple shit, and
Yeah.
honestly, like it was the worst. It was
I
like,
bet.
but I like I'm not like because of that I don't find like a lot of stuff like that like gross anymore because I've smelled like the
Oh.
worst stuff. I've like there was like this I don't know how to call it, like you're supposed to like wash the knives inside this like little like I don't know the word, but it's like with like a like a tap, with like
Oh
really
yeah,
warm
yeah.
water, yeah. And then like it got like it always got clogged with like I don't know, like
Meat.
meat and like really really gross stuff like skin, and it
Yeah.
was the worst. And after that I was like, okay, I'm vowing to myself like I'm never gonna work like a job like this again. Like I just want to do something that's cool, you know what I mean? um,
Yeah.
so my first actual job was like I started out as like a freelance. I was like hired by this printing company to do their website. So I didn't really do anything like graphic design related yet. I was just like
Oh,
coding for
cool.
them and like I guess like using Photoshop to do like a couple of like social media posts, but nothing too special. And that's
Was
what
it like
like
WordPress or something? What were you doing?
no, I was actually like coding it like
Oh
from
yeah, from
scratch.
scratch.
Yeah, and
Yeah. Fuck
it
that.
was not a good website, but
Yeah.
it was fine. I didn't really have like school in it or something before that, so after that I just went into school and like started learning like actual like design things.
Yeah, I remember my first class in school when we learned like HTML and CSS and stuff, and I did pretty good in it compared to like a lot of the other people, but I remember thinking I don't want to do this. Like this takes forever because I would do the wireframes and like the mock-ups in Photoshop and I could never get it like exactly how I had it in there,
Ah,
So it
yeah,
always
yeah.
like it'd make me mad because like I barely knew the basics and I wanted to do like crazy like scrolls and shit, you know, and I didn't know
Yeah.
how to do it, and it was just it looked like one of those like shitty just where everything's within one like just
Or like
container
within the
going
block.
straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to do it from scratch.
Yeah, it's also like very rewarding. Like I've worked on a couple
Yeah.
of websites, and it was like it was the worst when you couldn't get it right. But then like after like playing with it for like hours on end, and then you finally
Mhm.
finish it, it feels like you've just like finished a video game or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. That's how I feel with like a lot of just things that whenever you run into like a big problem and you get like obsessed with it and you waste like 3 hours doing like some little thing and then you finish it. And most of the time you're like, yes, like thank you.
Yeah,
That was satisfying. And then sometimes you're like, damn, I don't know if I want this, and you just
yeah,
delete it, which that's like a double bummer because you spent all the time and you
yeah.
didn't even end up using it.
I find it so hard to give up on those things. You know what I mean? Like, look, those small like technical issues on your computer, where there's like
I
no one who
know.
had the same problem as you, and you're just like, and sometimes you just have to give up, and then like you suddenly find a solution like 3 months later or something. That
I
that
know.
feeling is the
It's the
best though.
worst. When you
Uh,
when sometimes like it sucks when you run into a computer problem when you're just getting ready to like work on something,
oh,
and
that's
then
the worst.
next thing you know, like 3 hours later, you're still messing with like some like
Yeah,
little issue like that has nothing to do with design.
I have that so much when I like want to record. Like I'm just like getting okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna record 3 videos today, and then like I end up doing like half a video because like stuff, you know.
Yeah, you're like you spent like 3 hours messing with the lighting or some shit,
Yeah.
you know.
Um, so, reminder for everyone in the chat: if you want to ask us questions, feel free to do it, and we'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. Um, Jesse, what got you into designing?
Hmm. Let's see. Probably in high school, I was actually had like this class called visual communication, and it was when I was in I don't know what I think you'd call it grade I think it was grade 10. So I was like a sophomore in high school, and I got into that, and they taught us like the real basics of Illustrator, a little bit of Photoshop. We did some screen printing, t-shirts, which was
Oh,
fun.
that's cool.
I've told this story before, but my professor or my teacher, he would make us trace the Batman logo with the pen tool, and like you had to get it perfect, and that was kind of your test on like to use like the curves and the anchor
Oh yeah,
points and all that, because it's pretty hard because it'll come in like that, and then you have to back it back up,
yeah,
and twist. Because
yeah.
when you first start learning that pen tool, you don't even know what's going on. It gets all curvy, and you're just like you don't know how to like cancel the anchor points or anything. So if you want practice, do that. I did that, and that was kind of one of those courses at the school. It was like an elective. No one really cared about it. They kind of just took it because it was easy. You get to go on
Oh
the
yeah,
computer and just make like memes all day or whatever.
yeah.
And but I liked it, and I ended up starting like my own little clothing brand in there and like just screen printed shirts and stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
And yeah, and I'd like sell them around the school, and that was cool. So I went to college, and I was like, well, that's something that I liked, so I'll just take graphic design like
Right.
at school, and then I got more into it. I remember when I first got to school though, I almost switched to business. Like I actually did switch. I switched the major like in the system,
Oh
and
yeah.
then right before I went to like the first like whatever, it was like economics. I switched it back. I was like, no, I don't want to do this.
Like how many weeks did you do like the business thing? Just like one
I
class
I
or
mean, technically I was a business person like in the system for like a few weeks,
yeah?
but it was before the first class, so like I never even
Uh,
went to the first class. I just was like, nah, because I started to get scared, that people used to start to tell me things like, oh, if you do design, like you're not gonna have like any money or something, or like it's
yeah,
like you're just gonna be like an artist that is starving or
yeah,
whatever
like
it
this
may
the
be. So
struggling painter scenario.
yeah, I got scared, but then I
Yeah,
realized like whatever, I'll just do it, and it's like worked out decently so far.
definitely, man. So these t-shirts from your clothing brand, do you still own any, or is it like so long? That's such a long time ago that you don't have them anymore.
I have a few, but they're not just like in my closet right here. I couldn't
Uh,
just grab them. But the first one, it was very like angsty. It was called Depravity, and everything was kind of just about like how the government's like corrupt and like all this shit. You know, like I was
yeah.
in high school, so I thought I had all the answers. And the first shirt was like one of those old school heads that was like wearing one of those like old gas masks, and it was like
Oh
from
yeah.
like World War II or whatever. And then one of the other shirts, it was like a guy in a suit, like a typical guy you would think is like a corporate guy, and his head was like just a big TV, like one of those old
Oh yeah.
school,
Like that old school
like
propaganda thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, with like the static in it. And I thought
Yeah.
that was so cool. I was like, yeah, like this is like a real statement on the system or whatever. But and then
Have
I
you?
ended up doing like tie dye and shit, and it completely didn't even go with the theme, but everyone bought them, so I was like, all right, whatever, let's do that.
That's so cool. Do you know that song "Propaganda" by DJ Snake? It's like a very
Yeah,
hard like trap song. It actually has those like business people with the suits as well as an artwork, like with TV on their
yeah,
heads. It's
yeah. He
like
stole it from me, from my clothing brand. Just kidding.
imagine like if it actually was like he saw someone wearing your shirt somewhere and then like was like, oh,
Yeah.
I need to do that for an artwork.
The day I knew the clothing brand was like I didn't want to do it anymore and it was kind of like a failure is one of my homies that helped me design that business guy shirt. He sent me a picture one day from like the thrift store and it was there and we were like, oh,
Ooh,
like someone donated it and it
oof,
had only been like out for it was probably only like a few months old, you know, so it's not like
ouch.
it's some old ass thing. So we were like, damn, like that's no good. It's a bad design.
Ooh, that must have hurt.
Yeah,
um,
but it's for the better because then I focused on like some better stuff. What
yeah.
did this guy said something here?
Oh wait, how would you
How
approach people on social media? Like, put yourself out there and attract clients. I don't want to get my Instagram to turn into an art gallery with lots of likes with no clients. Do you want to go first on this, or do you need to think about your answer?
you can go take that one
All right.
first.
So if you want to have clients, I wouldn't really suggest like going to social media anyway. Like for example, like talk about this all the time, but most of my clients actually do. They originate from like word of mouth, I guess. So, and it's good that you can share like these works on your social media, and that's the way that like people approach me on social media. But a lot of people on there don't feel like paying me anyway. Like I get ghosted like every time I put my prices up, and I'm sure Jesse has the
Yeah,
same thing. Like I like almost every designer I talk to on Instagram has the same, and so I guess like try to like I don't know if you for example want to do the music thing. I would just like suggest like seeing if you can get in touch with a couple of local artists, stuff like that. See what they are into,
hmm,
and like become friends with them. See if you can do something with that, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I mean, Instagrams can get you clients, but I feel like Instagrams the people that succeed the best in it, like when it comes to clients, they're not normal clients. Like they're these designers that have like a very specific style where their
Yeah.
whole Instagram is like this one look and people just want to come and get that, whether it be like a commission or a poster or something. But like a lot of design, you know, you'll have to work within like some other brand guidelines or some other whole thing. And like a lot of corporate companies aren't really, or like artists aren't really going
Mm.
on like I guess a lot of serious people aren't on Instagram, I guess is like the short
Yeah.
way of putting it. One thing I like to do is if whenever I get a message, I'll just send them to my email, and if they don't even make it over there, then I know
Yeah.
that they're not serious because it's only like takes a couple minutes to email.
Yeah.
I would work on. I've gotten some clients from LinkedIn. I don't know if anyone is invested in that. I would at least try to build that out, especially if you want to work like in an office setting.
Hmm.
And then just email, like I get some, and then some from my portfolio. Make sure you have a good, obvious like email and contact thing on your
Right.
website that way. Because sometimes you get to a website and you don't really know what to do from there. You just kind of look at the
Yeah.
work, then you leave because there's no like
Yeah.
call to action.
Definitely. Also, like having a portfolio website is probably like 100 times more professional than just having an Instagram page. I mean, getting both is fine, but if you only have like a Instagram page without a portfolio, then a lot of like serious clients cannot take you seriously, I guess.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to send that to like, if you get a client that's a big company, they don't really want you to send them an Instagram link because they're gonna be opening it on their computer and it probably won't even
Yeah,
work half the time. You gotta have
definitely.
the portfolio for sure.
So what's up, Outdated? How are you doing, man? No,
Yo,
your question didn't go yet, but we will talk about that in a bit. So the next question is a very fun one. What is a 2021 design trend that you hate?
yeah. Hmm. I always try not to hate on them too much because then I always feel like every once in a while I'll whip one out and then I feel like a hypocrite because I use it. But let's see. Let me pull out the explore page real quick just to get a refresher.
All right. So I know what Jack of Album Art Archive would say. Like he absolutely hates that like grain
Like,
ink bleed photocopy thing. Like
yeah, the gradient like humans with the weird
yeah,
quotes on them. Yeah, that's a good one. And it
uh,
always says something like love is just around the corner or something like some little phrase.
we're like a few months away from becoming like the
Look
new
at
home is where the
that.
heart is. Yeah.
There's already one like that with the little I mean, whoever this is, sorry, I don't know. It has 24,000 likes. They probably don't care that I'm talking shit about it. Um, Honestly, that's a good one. It's kind of hard to beat that one. The one I also hate is it's not really like what do you call it? It's not like a design style, but I don't like all those Instagram carousels that are like they're all like cute design, but they're talking about like real world problems. Like this is
Right.
what's going on in Iran, and there's like little
Yeah.
flowers, and it's like talking about people dying and stuff. And I
Yeah.
just like it's kind of weird how they try to make it all like trendy and cute, and
Yeah.
they use Canva or something. That's one that I do not like.
Yeah, that's like a very good example of like when your branding clashes into like your message or whatever, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, um, so I guess like for me it would be the same as Jack. I know that like I did recently even like did a tutorial on how to do it because I was like might as well just cash in on the fact that everyone is doing
Yeah,
this anyway, you know. Um,
sure.
but like I'm like kind of getting sick of like the 3D heads made in DAS 3D think, and then like they just render it in Octane and
Mm,
do like the glare and the shine, and then like doing like
yeah.
this weird like chrome like masks on their faces or something. I mean they're
Everyone
fine.
kind of copied that one guy that has like the where it looks like a clear coat over their face,
Oh
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
piece of plastic almost.
yeah.
Yeah, those I see those a lot. Are those like are they? They're not actually. A lot of those people aren't actually like making those models, right? It's just like
Yeah, I think like the DAS 3D is like a software that I think you can just like load in a character and just like they have like assets prepared for you, so you can just like put on a helmet that you got from their
mm,
own web store or whatever. Um,
it's like a video game like character
yeah,
creation like thing almost.
yeah. I think that
Wow.
that's even like the main purpose before like everyone started doing like the design stuff on it. You know?
Yeah, they have that other one like Meta Human. It's like
Oh yeah,
the Unreal Engine, like their game, their character, and all the 3D artists are like they're like scared of that because anyone could just go in and like create a mod like a whole ass character, and
yeah,
just put it in their album art or whatever it may be.
yeah. It's I guess like it's a little bit too easy or something. You know?
Yeah,
I mean they look kind of cool, but like I guess the first time I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, this is sick!" And now, like, I just scroll past it, and like I don't want to even want to see it anymore.
yeah. I feel like with 3D, a lot of the stuff is a lot because I don't really do 3D, but a lot of the stuff that you see, um, people probably think it's a lot harder than it actually is. Like that's why
Yeah,
they're impressed by it. They're like, "Whoa, how'd you make that?" But they probably just got the model and like skinned it with some textures or
yeah,
whatever. Like when you see some real custom like crazy 3D models, then like some dude spent a hell of time on that,
yeah.
like creating that and sculpting it and all that.
I love the way that I don't know how to pronounce his name. His name is like Vic, and then like some Roman like
Oh yeah,
numbers.
Victor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you can just see that he makes like these crazy things and that he does them like himself, you know, like
Yeah.
uh,
Did you see he did that collab with Malvita or Malvidia or whatever her name is with all
uh,
the crazy, she does all the crazy
like the liquid
like textures.
pouring
Yeah.
thing, right? Yeah,
Yeah. He did a collab. That shit was cool. He had a
yeah.
crazy like mirror little border
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and then he lately like I think he also did like a moving painting with like tons of software. Like
Hmm.
it was something like completely different than what he used to do, and it's like I think I hope that's like something that people will strive to copy, but like I hope that not everyone's starting to copy that. I think it's too hard to
Yeah.
copy.
Yeah. Some stuff it's so, it's so original that like even if they do copy it, it's just worse. It just looks like
Yeah,
the light version of whatever this like style is.
yeah,
Same with that girl, like Ma Maldiva, I think they're saying is how you say it. No one really knows how to get those same crazy looks that she does.
yeah,
Like you can get, you could download any of those shitty like liquify textures
yeah.
though, but it's not gonna look the same at all as some of those.
Yeah, the best part is that she like, I think like I've seen her stuff for like over 2-3 years or something now, and like with Gucci Maze, like everyone started to copy the Chrome type like within like the coming months, but like her style still has not been like revealed how she does it exactly. You know what I mean? I think that's so cool.
Once she's gonna make a reel one day and it's gonna get like 2 billion
Yeah.
plays of how to
Uh,
do it.
I fear the day. I don't want to look on Instagram in the coming month after that. You know, you're just gonna see the same thing over and over again.
Every like reshare page too is gonna have those textures because everyone's having the ones that you were talking about right now, the like gradient ones with
Yeah,
the uh, Instagram's a weird place because every time there's a trend, it becomes such an echo chamber that you start to not even know who the like you'll see a thing and you're
yeah,
like, oh, that's Tom or whatever, and then you see
yeah,
another one, you're like, oh wait, it's not even him. That's some whole other guy, you know?
yeah. That's like in the tutorial of the like the grainy ink photocopy gradient man thing.
Yeah,
I don't know what to call it, but I just like was like, okay, the first time I saw this was like in Abi and Japari and on at Venus Draika, I think it's his name,
yeah,
and on Black Market. And then Jack told me in the podcast that I think the first one was actually by Abi and Japari. But
yeah.
I was just like so scared to mention them because I was like, okay, what if it's someone else and like everyone's gonna call me out for like not giving proper credit or whatever. I was just gonna say like I think these are the guys who did it.
Yeah, Obi and Japari and Ed, they're like the ones I always think about when I
Yeah,
think of like the good version of that,
yeah,
for sure.
definitely. So now like outdated question is coming up. Um, is it a good time to become a content designer? And with content designer, for the people watching, like me and Jesse already talked about this before the podcast, but I'll elaborate on it a little bit. So with a content designer, I guess outdated means, correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. Um, like me and Jesse, we're both designers, but we make a lot of content for other designers and showing our process videos, doing podcasts. So basically, like we work with social media content and like community revolving around design. Besides being a designer,
Yeah.
so yeah, his question was like, is it a good time to become someone like that, or should you just stick to commissions? Like, what do you think?
Hmm. You want me to go at it first, you
Yeah,
said?
sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good time, but I don't think it's like I don't think the good time exists really. Like this
Yeah,
shit's hard to like grow. It's hard to grow channels. Like I'm sure Tom may have a little bit more like secrets because his YouTube has blown up in like 1 year time. But I was talking to Tom about this before. If you want to do it, like do it. I don't want to scare you off of it, but just know that it may not, no one may care like for months, until you have to be consistent. And also, I was talking to him about kind of, we don't want to like be just doing that, This is kind of like a vehicle to get other designers and like attract clients and stuff to the commission or freelance design work, whatever you want to call it. That's still the goal. Like, I don't want to just be a professional podcaster like my whole life. I still want to be a designer, and that's just kind of this own. If that can kind of get money eventually and fund, other like things, I can get other stuff, put it back into the design. Cool, but I don't think your goal should be to just want to live off like being a YouTube like designer,
Hmm.
because I don't really know if that's possible other than like maybe Kel Lauren has kind of done that a bit. But even them, they're one of the biggest design YouTubers I've seen, and
Yeah.
I'm sure it's still not like an insane amount of money, Still YouTube, they only pay you so much.
Definitely. Like both you and me also have to use Patreon, because if it was just for YouTube money, like we wouldn't be able to get by.
I don't
Like
even have zero so far, so yeah, for
uh,
sure.
but yeah, we actually do need it, and so let me just read what Outdated is saying in the chat. The reason I asked is because I have seen so many inexperienced designers that like want to be Chris Do and do the carousel thing. Oh yeah, the carousel thing. Um,
Yeah,
so I talked about this with my friend Jack, other Jack, Jack Hunter from an
the
earlier
long hair,
podcast.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what he was talking about was he talked about like what's the NFT influencer guy, Gary V, I think.
Oh yeah,
And I was like,
that
I
guy's
didn't really know
crazy.
him, and I've seen his stuff like after the podcast, but even like from me or from Jesse or Gary V or whoever, always take everything with a grain of salt. And like obviously,
Yeah,
like we talked about this before the podcast as well. Like we don't know everything, like. Uh, yeah, if I show you how to do something in 3D, that doesn't mean like I know everything about 3D. I'm just sharing what I
right.
know, and always like keep an open mind about that stuff, and don't get mad at someone or something when it's like when that person is wrong or partially wrong or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like, and I guess it's fine to share your thoughts and stuff like that. But if the goal is, like Jesse said, to get more clients, then don't like start doing that, because you're gonna attract other designers. You're making content not for clients but for designers. Um,
Exactly. And I think it
and
was Albert. I think it was like Albert Einstein or some shit. He said, "I know enough to know I don't know anything at all." You get to a certain point and you realize there's so much stuff you can't. Like some of these people, I don't even know what they think that they're teaching. Like it'll be a carousel and it'll just say like, how to think like a designer, and it's like I don't
yeah,
even know what that even means. And they're
yeah,
just like, it's weird.
yeah. So yeah, take all of that with a grain of salt, and just know that it's gonna take a while before it actually like brings anything to the table, like money wise, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
you have to like it without money because you're probably gonna make more money off like one freelance project than all the way until you get like a while before you get
yeah,
a good amount of money from like ads or anything like that.
100%. Also, you're also asking us if it was a good time, and I feel like we started like during the first like part of the pandemic. Like we in the first few months we launched everything, and
Yeah.
I guess it's also like I guess we also like got a bit lucky with people like trying out graphic design or getting like a new hobby or whatever, or looking into some new stuff while in quarantine. But yeah, as the pandemic is kind of like, I hope at least near its end right now, um,
Yeah.
I feel like that bubble is like bursting a little bit.
Yeah. It's hard to say. Like when did you start, Tom? Like last year sometime?
So like I started doing like some content, I think between November 2019 and then like March 2020. But like I actually
Yeah.
went live with like my first tutorial, I think in April in 2020. So
Okay. So yeah, I wasn't my first video. I was just looking the other day. It was in July 28th. So a few months later, and it's almost been a year. And yeah, like it's hard to say like if the timing. It's all like you can never predict what's gonna happen. Like I didn't even think I would. I was like hoping I'd even get 1,000 by one year. I've
right.
already passed that by a little bit, And I remember you saying like you wanted like 500 and you got
Yeah.
like 20,000. So, I mean, if that's like a mark, that's just, I don't, and it's like to show like if you have put out good shit, like people will come. And I don't know if it can take longer like mine. It can be fast like Tom's in a way. And the good thing is once you do start getting a little bit of traction, I'm sure you've seen that like, you know, 10 the second 10,000 was like nothing, right? Compared to how long it took for
Yeah.
like the first 1,000 or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think it was like 2.5 months between the 10 and the 20,000, and then
Yeah.
the other one was like like I think 11 or 12 months or something between 0 and 10,000.
Yeah, it's crazy like that. It took me, I think, you know, I already got another 600 after the 1,000 in like a month and a half, but the first 1,000 took
Yeah.
8 months or whatever, 9 months.
Yeah, at
So you
some
just got
point
to
like
keep
yeah.
at it if you want to try it.
Yeah, like at some point YouTube will like throw you a bone like and put you like I don't know, like I feel like when I reached like the 1K and then the 10K, they like put you in this like algorithm that gives you like more views, like
Mm.
and then like like now it's like kind of like calming down, and it's like my channel is like growing at the same rate it was like when it was like at 6,000 or something. So it's like going a
Oh,
little bit slower now. But I feel like once you hit like all of these milestones and you keep posting like regularly or whatever, I feel like the YouTube will like from time to time just boost you or something, you know? Like I feel like it
yeah.
works that way.
Yeah.
You should make an ASMR Twitch channel.
Just go on there like this. All right, this is welcome to the channel. We're gonna talk about graphic design. Have you seen they have those crazy like ones that are like the whole like they're super sensitive mics. They look like two big rings, and they'll just like touch them
All
and
right.
poke them.
I get so uncomfortable about those things, you know? Like
Especially if you wear like the nice headphones, you know, because you're just like it's like right in your head. You can hear it
oh
on
yeah.
both.
Uh,
Crazy.
um so another
That
thing.
little
What?
thing is he like a is outdated like a mod or something like
Oh
that?
yeah, he's a mod because at some point we got like a couple of spammers, and I just he's also a mod on my Discord, so I just made him a
Oh,
mod so he can help out with that.
get him out of here. Oh yeah.
um, so Jesse, we both do like Gunpla. So for the people who don't know, those are like basically like plastic models from Gundam.
Mm.
Yeah, I also already asked you this, but someone in my for my followers wanted to know it. Did you learn any new Gunpla skills?
Shit, let me think. I was telling Tom I've slowed down a bit because I think when I first talked to you, I had just gotten into it and I probably built like 12 in like a month or two,
Oh
honestly.
wow.
Yeah, or like maybe 10. And I got my first bigger one though, like the master grade. That
Oh
shit's
yeah.
pretty cool. I recommend those if you're gonna get into it because they look way better and they have
Yeah.
like cooler joints and whatnot. Um, skills, I would say, use your X-Acto knife or or a toothpick for pulling off the stickers. That it gets really frustrating, but that's like the best way I've seen. And you can use the I don't. This is a pen, but use the bottom of this to put the stickers like that, like to
Oh
press
yeah.
them
Push it.
down.
Yeah.
You know. Let's see. Make sure you get the good. The one investment I would get is the good clippers. I bought the better
Mm.
clippers, and they don't make as much of those little like marks. You know, when you
Oh yeah. Yeah.
think. I don't even know where my stuff's at. It's how it's been a while. You know.
Yeah. I bought like a couple of grades. Oh nice. Is that a master grade?
Oh yeah, that's the big master grade Zaku. I just haven't put. I just need to put on the decals. But like I was telling you, I put on a few, and I was like, oh, it's not focusing. But
I
I
can
put
kind of
on a
make it out.
few, and I was kind of just like, damn, there's like 100 more. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely get a master grade. I know they're a little bit more expensive, but they're so much more fun to build. Like I completely stopped doing like high grades once I did like my first master grade.
Uh huh. And it has like the actual when you move the knees and shit, it's like actually nice. The other ones you feel like
Yeah,
you're gonna snap it or
it's
some
like
shit.
like actual like toys, and the other ones like are actual models, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I've
I
seen. Have you ever seen the? I think it's like the one like sixth scale or whatever, and the big ass legs.
Oh yeah,
The
the mega size models.
yeah,
Oh
and the
yeah.
I saw building one, and she was like twisting it in like like big ass like
That's
that looks
crazy.
crazy. It'd be cool to have one of those like in your room though, a big
Yeah.
one in the
I'm actually I still need to work on like the master grade Sazabi Verka, but I can't get around to it because I want to finish it in like one go, like put like a whole weekend into it.
yeah.
But I'm like scared to do it and then like leave it. You know what I mean? I just want to have it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, I've done that a few times where you get like you just have like a torso hanging around
Yeah,
somewhere, you know.
I've had that so many times with the legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think we have a question from the chat. Marcin Pezdaniki. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Hi, how long do you guys work in all that design stuff? Was it hard at first? Yeah, we talked a little bit about like earlier in the podcast, but like how long have you been doing it for now, Jesse?
Just like graphic design in general. How
Yeah.
long? Um, I guess I don't know when I would start counting it, because I always did it in college. I freelanced, but it was like not that good, so it's
Hmm.
kind of hard to say. Like, I guess if you count like from my second or third year in college, that would be maybe like 5 years. But I've been in the programs probably for like 8 or 9, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that it was like design. I was trying, right? But
Yeah,
however
definitely.
you want to count it. If you want to count just after school, then like only two. So
Ah, yeah. I remember like playing with Photoshop CS3, I think, or CS4 maybe. It was at the time that you still had Adobe Image Ready, which was like the Photoshop for GIFs or GIFs. And
yeah,
but I was like I was just a kid, and I didn't do anything seriously with it. But
yeah,
I've been using the software ever since, and then um, I guess I started doing it seriously in like 2014 or something, so 7 years ago, and then I just graduated like a few months ago, which means I've been doing this like not as a side business but full time, like the graphic design and Dreadlabs and stuff like that, all of that combined. Um, but yeah, it depends on like what you mean with hard. Like it's hard to there's a learning curve to the software, obviously, but then getting clients
I
and
said
stuff like
it's
that
not
is
hard at all. So I guess go
yeah,
for it.
go for it. Um,
It's not hard to learn, but I think it's hard to master. That's like the difference. Like
yeah,
you can learn everything easily. It's not hard. You could watch some Dreadlabs videos. You could look all around YouTube and try to find some stuff out. But the hard part is actually getting like I think when I knew I was getting better is when I knew like how to do something like strategically, like just
yeah,
in my head right away, like first try, like I knew this would look good here. Like it takes a
hmm,
while to learn that like design like sense or whatever you want to call it,
yeah,
like that kind of muscle memory. Because back in the day, it seemed when I first started, it seemed like everything I did was like, here we go, like starting from scratch. Like I don't
hmm,
even know what I'm gonna do, and you don't even remember like how you did stuff. That you were
yeah.
just kind of messing around. Now
I,
I kind of have like some like things I can fall back on. Worst case scenario, little tricks and stuff. Let me put this down real quick.
all right. So yeah, definitely that. And then the hardest part is like if you want to be a freelancer, it's harder to get like I don't know, like get clients and stuff like that. But if you want to work for a firm, it's a little bit more easy, I guess. But yeah, like
Yeah,
Jesse, I don't know if you did this as well, but like when I was first starting out, like I had like something done in Photoshop, I would just go and like if I wanted to do it on another project, I would just open the file back up and like copy all those settings like manually.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like because you don't even remember like what kind of curves you did or
Yeah.
anything. You're just like trying to figure it out.
So how did I do
Yeah.
that?
Have you ever like I have some old projects where my computer used to be so shitty that I'd have to like make stuff like rasterize stuff or like flatten it and things because it would start running really slow and then you can't even go back and edit it because it's like basically a JPEG at that point because I
Yeah.
flattened it so much.
Oh, I remember that. There's
There's
some weird
bad
guy
tech
like
for it.
Some weird guys asking us if there's an Instagram page where you can learn how to price your artwork. Like, oh,
I've never heard of.
I've actually seen like this one page, and I wouldn't recommend it because it's like super weird, and I wouldn't follow any advice on that. It's called Album Art Archive. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but I would avoid that.
Yeah, the guy doesn't really know what he's talking about, honestly. But nah, go check that out. But
Mm-hmm.
let's see.
Shout
I
out to
saw one
Jackie.
that I missed. I didn't want to diss the person up there. Let's see. Amanda, I don't know if you're still in here. How do you get over imposter syndrome?
All right.
We were talking about this a little bit. I don't really think, I think if you're kind of good at anything, you're always going to have that feeling that like other people are better than you or you're not good enough or things. And I think that in a way, it's kind of a good thing. Like it's a little chip on your shoulder that like
Yeah.
keeps you motivated. If you already think you're the shit, then you're probably wrong because even the best designers will tell you like they're always learning. Even guys that have been designing for 40 years, I'm sure they learn every day and they get better. And you know, don't let, just as long as that doesn't get so bad that you actually stop, like just know that you're still like valid, and whatever your little insecurities may be, we all have them. And I've talked to some of the people I look up to so much on my podcast, and even they tell me this stuff, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, if Aaron Draplin gets like creative block, then
Yeah.
I feel like I'll be good.
Yeah, definitely. And this also ties into Yam's question, like, how do I know what's my level now and what I need to practice more? I guess it's like, there's always stuff to learn. There's always like a level, and there's probably, and you at your level, there are probably clients that will be satisfied with your work. Some clients maybe not, and then that's a like a reason to learn more and to get better. But yeah, I guess everyone has imposter syndrome. Everyone is at a level, and you can always learn more. There's no. There's literally no designer in the world who knows how to do everything, I guess.
Yeah. Or yeah, I don't think so. Unless it's like some Buddhist monk that just
Yeah.
is photoshopping in their mind or something.
That's
Yeah, and one thing I learned I would give advice is I don't really see that message, but oh, there it is. Yeah. Uh, I guess when I was younger, I thought I had to know how to do everything, right? I thought I
yeah.
had to know how to web design. I thought had to know how to do logo design,
Hmm.
uh, album art, whatever. Yeah, like maybe have a good understanding of all things, but instead of trying to be a little bit good at everything, focus on like a few of the things you already like and that you're already good at, and spend your time there, because you're gonna waste all this time like let's say you're not that good at web design, right? And you don't really care about it, but then don't waste time like learning to
Hmm.
code. Put all that time into like, Illustrator or learning how to draw, things like that. Like if
Yeah.
you actually want to do something, put the time into that, because you're just gonna waste time like trying to get good at something you don't even care about.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so Mally Baby, I is asking, how do you deal with clients that keep telling you to change things literally a million times? Very, very easy answer: charge them. Like charge
Yeah.
extra for every revision, and they will stop soon enough. Especially if they're like nitpicking.
And the one thing the only thing I'll say in like the client's defense is just, maybe don't send them so many things. Like sit back and wait a little bit before you send them the next
Yeah.
round. Maybe because at the end of the day, maybe the thing you're sending isn't the right like thing that for the project, right? So
Hmm.
you don't some clients suck and they'll just be nitpicking no matter what, even if it's perfect. They're always going to want to see something else. But then there's times when I was a younger designer, and I mean, thank God they sent me a revision, because the first one I sent was shit. Like they
Yeah.
made it better. So like just try not to get too mad at them, because they're still giving you money. So
Yeah.
try to
Definitely.
try
Yeah.
to respect it in a way.
Yeah, try to deliver like your best work in the first place, and that's yeah,
Hmm.
because otherwise, you will like if you do something that's like rushed, then it's pretty logical that the client will have a lot of revisions. But if it's like nitpicking that there's no reason for it, then I charge extra, I guess.
Yeah. One of my professors used to say, like, if you send 3 logo concepts or something, uh, they're always going to choose your least favorite one. So be ready to work on that one, you
All
know?
right, yeah.
Make sure you only send stuff you actually are comfortable being the final product. Don't just throw in anything.
Definitely. And also do not like send in 25 proposals, because then you will overwhelm the client and they won't know what to give you for feedback, and they don't know what to choose, and the project will take longer and it will be like unnecessary. So also like you have to have your own like design vision, and pick out the top three or whatever, top five maybe even.
Uh,
Uh,
because there's times where I want to send like basically my artboards, you know, but
yeah.
like you got to narrow it down. I know some guys I know, they only send like one, you know, and that's
Hmm.
that. Like, this is the thing. Like there isn't options because this is the answer,
Yeah.
right? And if you're gonna do that, make sure it's good because
Yeah.
that there's nothing you if it's not good, you got nothing else to win them over with.
Yeah. You have to be very confident to do that.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
would be a little bit scared to do that. Like I've done it like once or twice maybe, but then it was like when I was like super confident that the designer or the client that wanted actually like a logo like
Right.
that, you know?
I only do that if it's like a poster or something, you know, it's just a one-time thing. Just
Yeah.
send it over. But yeah, logo, I always feel like I have so many I want to send, like 20 or 15, because I kind of fall in love with like each little version that
Yeah.
I'm like manipulating, you know?
Yeah, and then you cannot choose between like two like cool details of like kind of
Yeah,
the same version, and yeah.
right.
Um, all right, so I got two more questions left, and the first one is by Zhao. I don't know if you were watching or listening, Zhao, but I got your bucket hat question. And we also had a very fun discussion about this beforehand. But if you would design a bucket hat, what would it look like, Jesse?
Shit. I guess I'll go off of, so when Tom asked me this, I thought he said Buckethead. I don't know if anyone knows Buckethead. Badass guitarist. He wears a KFC bucket on his head. He's actually from right near my hometown. And I think I'll go off that. If I was gonna design a bucket hat, I'd make it look like a KFC bucket, red and white with the kernel on it, and just call it a day there.
Oh, and then do like the mask on the face of the colonel. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, exactly.
Um, all right, and then this is a more interesting question, maybe at least in my opinion. I don't really care too much about bucket hats. Sorry, Zhao. But what is your client horror story,
Yeah. Hmm.
if you have any to
Do
share?
you have any? Or you? I know you
Uh,
shared one on like your first podcast, but I need a little second to think.
I've had a couple. I've had one where there was a guy. I think I told this in like a couple of episodes ago. There was this guy, and he wanted me to record like video tutorials about his website or something. And he saw I was a YouTube channel, so he actually like asked me from Dreadlabs, and I was like 2K subscribers at this point. And then I was like, I think he needed like 5 tutorial videos, like, and I was like asking him 2,500 euros for that because like the editing and recording and everything. And then he like started bashing me because I only had 2K subscribers, and then he supposedly had like a YouTuber who had like 1 million subscribers, but who would do it for free. And um, yeah, it
Yeah,
was like the worst. And like I was just like immediately I was just like, okay, if you're not willing to pay, have a nice weekend, but like then it ends here, you know. And like he kept like replying to my emails, like trying to like belittle me and bash me, you know. It's
yeah, that's the worst when you tell someone like whatever a price or something they don't agree with, they start saying, "Well, you suck at design
yeah,
anyway," or something. And it's like, why were you even here then?
yeah,
Or they tell you, "Well, my uncle Vinny, like he could do it for free," and I'm
yeah.
just like, "All right, well, you
Yeah,
better hit him
exactly.
up then at the
Yeah.
next family reunion because I'm not doing it for free." I think that's maybe like that's a good one in general. Like I get so many messages. So this is what I'll say for horror story. This isn't a person. This is a type of person in general, right?
Right.
I get a lot of contacts from people I know in real life that are some are friends, some are like not really friends. Like so I could care less. If it's a really good friend, I try to help them out because
Mm-hmm.
I know who they are. I know their budget isn't huge, and if I like them, I'll tell them, something like, yeah, I'll do this, but no revisions. Maybe, one try,
Yeah.
I'll give this logo or this poster for like a couple $100 or whatever. Um, but other times I have these people that I kind of knew from maybe high school, and they'll say, "Hey, I need like a logo," and I'll tell them, and they're like, "Oh, what? Like, nah, I only have $100 or something, and I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you then. And then they'll start saying like what you said, like they'll be like whatever, like your shit's like not even that cool or something, and talking crap. And then other times they'll say like, oh yeah, like they'll say, hey Jesse, like can you design this? And I'm like, sure. And they're like, oh, and I'll actually be happy to pay you too. And I'm like, yeah, you
That's
would.
how it's supposed to work.
Like you're doing me a favor for paying me. Like they act like they're all like proud of saying they have like money. Like I hope so, because
Yeah.
otherwise, what are we doing here?
Yeah, you're not getting any
Hard to-
designs.
It's hard to find that line though. It kind of sucks. Like I feel like I've gotten to the point where I can't really work with my friends because they don't want to spend a lot of money, and I
Mm.
understand. So I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like it's probably just gonna cause us to fight. So maybe just let's
Yeah.
not work together sometimes.
Yeah, I've mainly quit doing that as well because we were like y there's always like misunderstandings, and then at some point like I'm willing to throw them a bone, but not like a couple of times, you know. And then the thing is like they mainly, at least in my case, they generally don't really understand that I'm like reserving time to do this for like a lower price for them, or maybe some stuff even for free.
Yeah,
And like that like time I could have put into a client work which I ditched, which would have gotten me like actual money to pay my rent and my groceries and whatever, you know what I
exactly.
mean? um
Yeah, you're doing a favor. They think they're doing you a favor by giving you a job or something
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, it's
I
odd,
used to
like
do work for my girlfriend's mom all the time, and it was always like she was nice and she'd pay me, but it was always like for like church and stuff, so I hated
oh
doing
yeah.
it. It was like little like, like the handouts and stuff, like little
Yeah,
brochures like come to this like Bible study. I'm like, gotta go in and put like those like that classic like, pictures of clouds and shit and just all
so,
that. But that's how it goes sometimes, you
yeah.
gotta when you need the money, you gotta like my attitude's different when I'm struggling in the that month, if you hit
Yeah,
me up on a good
definitely.
if I'm doing bad, you're doing good, that's kind of the deal.
So do you still like do these like church brochure things, or
No, no, no. I'll do them every once in a while if she needs help, but I more just try to tell her how to do them herself on like PowerPoint or some shit.
oh
Do
yeah.
something.
That mainly works like for those kind of purposes.
Hmm.
Um, so Martin is asking, can I make my designs on free software like Inkscape? Is it worth it? Honestly, like I haven't never used like, well, like I've used like Paint.net. I don't know if you know that, Jesse. It's
Yeah,
like a really old like thing. I don't know if I don't even know if they still update it, but it's like a mixture between like Photoshop and Paint, like Microsoft Paint for the people who don't know. Um,
right.
and like I did like a couple of things for it, but it was just for myself. And then like I've never like done like client work or anything on like free software, so I don't really know if it's worth it. But I just prefer working in Adobe Creative Cloud as well because it's just like easier with all of the different software.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't really know if it's the best. I just don't want to like learn another one. I
Yeah,
don't even know everything already about the current one. So,
yeah,
uh, but if you don't have the money, like don't let that stop you from designing. Like if you can't
hmm,
afford Photoshop or Illustrator, like then you can't at that. Then you just have to deal with that and get
hmm,
yeah, there's Inkscape is like Illustrator, I believe, for free, and then GIMP is like free
right,
Photoshop. I've used both of them before, but I used them like, and then I got the programs soon after, so I never really kind of got too into it. I think the biggest program that came out that actually like took Adobe's clients is Procreate. Like everyone
yeah,
uses that. No one really
hmm,
like a lot of the Illustrator type people, they don't even use Photoshop anymore. They're all
yeah,
on the iPad.
definitely. Like I've
That's
never
only
really
10
gotten
bucks.
around to it. Sorry, what was that?
It's only $10 if you want
Yeah,
that.
and no subscriptions, nothing. So that's really
Mhm.
nice. Oh, yeah, and there's also Affinity, right? Yeah, like Jesse said, don't let it stop you from designing. And I guess you can always just make the transition once you're able to afford it, or once you're able to get clients or whatever. I
Yeah.
feel like there's like a lot of like similarities between all of these software anyway. So you're not like wasting your time when you, for example, learn like Affinity and then like switch to Photoshop. a few years later or something.
Right. And I would also advise like people to try like I never thought this was a thing because I started on Illustrator first, and when I told you the pen tool thing
Oh yeah.
with the Batman. So like I see a lot of these younger designers that I talk to, and like they're super talented, and but they even like Elliot, like they only use Photoshop. They've never
Yeah.
used anything. And I'm surprised because at school, they made us use InDesign and
Yeah.
Illustrator and everything. And I think you should at least try it because you don't, once you're like 10 years in, you don't want a client to tell you, like, we need vector. And then you're like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to learn
Definitely.
it at least a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Especially like for printing stuff with InDesign and vectors for Illustrator. Then, all, but yeah, and also there is a slight learning curve between Illustrator and Photoshop. But once you get the hang of it, it's so rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you can just, and they work well together. You could bring
Hmm.
in the vectors, like, they just become, what is it, like smart objects
Yeah.
or whatever when you put them into Photoshop, and then you get those crisp lines, even though it's like raster based or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's so easy to work with.
Hmm.
Um, so Mally Baby is asking, would you guys ever get into 3D? Yeah. What about you, Jesse? Because I already do like some 3D stuff, but
Tom does. So, I mean, go check that out. I want to. It's like kind of like the thing I was talking about before, though. Like, I still want to put more time into the things I already know.
right.
Like, I'm still trying to get better at logo design every day. Still trying to get better at just like typography and composition because I
Hmm.
feel like you never really master that stuff. You can always
Hmm.
learn and get better.
Yeah.
3D just, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of this is what I think about it. It never was big in design until like a few years ago.
Hmm.
All the people I used to know that used 3D were just people that made games or
Yeah.
animation. Now you see it on posters and stuff, which is crazy. I never
Yeah.
thought it would be that way. So I think it's either going to stay like that and 3D you're going to like have to know within 5 years, or it's kind of like a trend and maybe it'll fall off a little bit. But
Hmm.
if it hopefully it kind of in my defense that it if kind of doesn't become as popular because I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I like 2D. Like I feel like if I got really into 3D, I would just be doing it from like the FOMO, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't really care about it that much. I don't even
Yeah.
like how it looks most of the time. So,
I actually do like your designs because it is made without 3D. It wouldn't really like be it wouldn't really like fit into your style of design, I guess if you know what I mean. It would just look like too forced, maybe.
because I like things to I mean, a lot of my stuff is like when I do a lot of logo design, I don't post a lot of that, but it's a lot of it's pretty minimal. So like 3D obviously doesn't work for branding and
Hmm.
stuff. But yeah, with like just stuff I post on Instagram, like I'm really into like old stuff and analog and print and stuff. So you can't really put a 3D object on like a weird like on some kind of screen print, like
Yeah,
that's not gonna really
it's
make any sense. Your style it works because you're kind of more in that you're more in like the acid graphics like world in a way.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like it's and like I also like think it's gonna be just a trend, and I feel like it's but I guess like hand lettering or lettering in general was also like a trend in graphic design at some point, and like I feel like it's not like 100% essential, but it's a really good skill to have under your belt if you're a designer. And same goes with 3D, or same goes with like a little bit of animation, maybe even like. It's just one of those things that it's nice to learn, but like if you were going to work on as an art director or as creative director or whatever, you're probably gonna hire a 3D designer for a certain project anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
Really. I
uh,
think too, like the problem with 3D and like Chrome is like a lot of people do custom type and it's like not even that good, but it only looks good when it's like chromified or like
yeah,
3D. Your type, like it should look good in the vector. Like I want to see the flat white on the
yeah,
black. Anything could look cool when you add all the crazy like Gucci Mace effects to it.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just I like it when people like post all of those versions, like when they have like a carousel slide and then just slide to like the normal version. I
Yeah.
then you know it's like a good type.
Let's see the anchor points. I want to
Oh
see the
yeah,
last view.
yeah. uh, I imagine like there must be like a couple of typefaces out there with like so many messed up like anchor points. Like if you open it up in Illustrator, you're just gonna cry.
Yeah. Have you ever used any of those like softwares where you make it into like a font, like glyphs or anything like that?
So there was one. So have you heard of Dead Creative or Harbor Bigmore?
Haven't.
Um, so that's a guy I came across on Skillshare. I was like subscribed to Skillshare for a while, and he had like this type design class, and he used like a software. I'm not sure what it was, but it was one of those like I think it's called Glyphy or something like that.
Oh yeah, glyphs or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and it was a pretty nice. It was pretty cool and it was very interesting. But it's just like immediately right off the bat, I was just like seeing that this guy had like a loads of experience with like making typefaces, and I was like, I don't have time to master this, and it's just
Right.
all those things that I just let go. I might want to pick it up like in the future when I can like outsource other things like in life, I guess. But for now, it's just too much.
It'd be
But
nice to have like a duo so you can have some guy draw the raw like type specimens and then another guy goes into Illustrator
yeah,
and makes a vector and then you can both kind of I talked to that guy like Sambergini. He runs
oh yeah,
him and this other guy, they run that page like Kern Club, the
oh yeah,
foundry. And he said it when they make a font, you have to kern everything. So you have to do A, what A looks like next to B, AC, AD,
yeah,
and then you go BA, BB, BC, and
yeah.
you have to line them all up. And he said it takes like 5 hours just to line those up, and because you don't want it to be, you don't want that bad kerning that'll ruin
Yeah.
the font.
I've definitely had a couple of fonts where it was just like where I just like typing one word and then like some weird spacing is going on between two letters and you just know that someone hasn't done that.
It's far apart or something
Yeah,
for no
like
reason.
especially like with the letters M and W, like they were just because they're like way wider than like a letter L or I or whatever. You know, you can just see like they didn't even bother to change that.
Yeah. Lots of numbers too. If you put a zero next to like a seven or something, it's way over
Yeah.
on like the other side of the page almost.
You know what I love when they do like when you have combinations and they have like I've seen a couple of fonts where they do like a little like transition in it, like they just like merge the two letters together in a cool
On the
way.
ligature. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's very cool. But you don't really see that often. I feel like at
They
least.
have that in a lot of the old like serifs, like
Yeah,
Garamond, stuff like that. They have a lot of
yeah,
those ligatures. Those are cool. Yeah, sometimes you can go into the I'm sure a lot of you know this, but if you just go into the glyphs panel, you can find a lot of cool little some of the fonts have cool little icons in them too and
oh
like
really?
little characters and things, yeah.
I sometimes when I do like logo design, I try to like work with fonts or like letters and try to see if I can do something like that myself. You know, to make it like a little
Yeah.
bit more unique. So it's better when you have like a font that doesn't have that in advance at in some cases, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, just turn it into a shape and try to mess with it and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's always good to start like if you're doing anything with type like a logo that's going to be super type heavy, like it's good to just get a bunch of different fonts and kind of look at them and see how they start with there and then kind of
hmm,
start Frankensteining it in a way and like
yeah,
taking pieces apart and stuff. Because
definitely.
man, like I know some dudes that can draw like straight up nice like Helvetica looking serifs like by hand. That's
Wow,
crazy.
it's
Every little
crazy.
curve is really nice.
So would you ever mess around in like one of those font softwares?
Yeah, I didn't realize how low I got. I was sinking down right there. I think it's my chair. There we go. Yeah, I would. But I don't have a. Once I have a font, maybe to make. I'm not just gonna go in there. I don't think to mess around. I think
Hmm.
if I ever want to make a font, I'll learn it then. I've always wanted to, but I don't know how good I am at type design, but I've always wanted to, because there's something really cool about like making a font and just seeing it online. I bet and
Yeah,
seeing people use it is probably like really nice when you see a big poster with some big letters that you made. I'm sure that's fun. It's just a lot of work and everyone wants them for free. So it's kind of,
yeah.
I don't know. Most people don't want to pay for anything, so it's
No.
kind of hard to put all that time into it.
I posted like these type foundries on my Instagram page like the other day, and like one of the first comments I got was like, "Are these free?" It's just
Yeah,
nothing else. Like not even like, "Oh, this one's cool. Is it free?" Like, "Are these free?" Otherwise, not even gonna bother looking at it.
I know. Besides like Adobe fonts, most of the ones that you're gonna pay for, I mean, the good ones are gonna cost money for the
Hmm.
most part.
Definitely.
But that's
I,
what's cool about the Adobe. They give you a lot of the really cool foundries like OnoType and all that
yeah.
for free, technically.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I love when I like when I stumble upon like a type designer who has like its own little web shop and the fonts are like really cool, but it like the
Yeah.
pricing isn't even that high. You know what I mean? Like, um, Domenico Barreto, Novocaine.psd. Have you seen
Mm-mm.
this work? He has like this Evangelion. The font is called Evangelion, and it's like such a cool font. And I've
Yeah.
been meaning to buy it just to use it in the project. You know. Or yeah,
Is it like
hologram is
based
also
off
like
the
a really good
anime
one.
kind of?
Sorry.
It's based off the anime kind of, like that look.
Yeah, it's kind of like futuristic, but it's not like it doesn't really look like the logo from Evangelion or something. It would look like something that they would use in the show, but not like.
Yeah.
And then he has a couple of other ones which are like quite experimental, and they're all like kind of display type faces. But yeah, I just love them.
Yeah, Evangelion, I mean, it's not really one of my favorite animes in terms of like the story and things, but for like design and just visual aspects, like
Yeah, I
one of
love
the
that.
most like, that and Akira are like some of the coolest looking like things that they've
Yeah.
ever made in terms of anime. Because like even the intro is so cool. Like it looks like they made it like this year or something.
Yeah, definitely. Like there's so many like people like, well, I don't want to say copying, but like drawing inspiration from those two like franchises, you know.
Definitely.
Uh, Also, like Jack said in the chat, hologram is also like one of those guys who has like a ton of cool display typefaces, very experimental, and then also like typelab.fr just released like a new collection, which is also really cool. They also do like these digital art like things revolving around their releases, which is really cool.
Nice. Yeah, there's this guy I know too. I met in Elliot's server. His name's like Daniel Shear, I think. Scheier. He has a few fonts and he has one called
Oh
Faucet
yeah.
Grotesque. And it's a cool little sans serif. Like it's a little bit different from all these like crazy like acid graphics looking ones, but it's pretty simple, but it's like what you said. It has those like weird little like some of them will connect like an F and
Oh
a
yeah.
N or something. Like it has a lot of cool little tricks to it. Like the R is a little weird. It's nice.
Yeah, I love it when like I've been getting like into these more subtle typefaces lately, and definitely those that have like a little bit of character, you know.
Yeah.
Um, the best example is the Bengiat font. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly,
Oh
but
yeah. Like that's like the Stephen King font,
yeah,
like the old books. Yeah, with that little A that
yeah, I
goes
love
with that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, love that one. That's a
Um,
classic.
Outdated. I was talking about the Evangelion font by Novocaine.psd. You can find that on Instagram. But anyways, Jesse, I'm out of questions, so I think we're gonna wrap it up from here. At
Cool.
least unless you still have like something to talk about, but
I mean, not really. And if anyone has any last minute things, I'm game for answering a few more things. But other than that, I appreciate it. And
oh,
if you wanna check out more stuff, it looks like Tom has my links below, so that's cool.
definitely.
Also, I just upgraded my Patreon, so go check that out. I added some merch stuff to some of the tiers and
Oh,
whatnot.
sick.
So yeah.
Also, I'm in the process of like launching the Minecraft server, the Dreadlabs Minecraft server. I don't know if you've ever played it.
I haven't played since like Xbox, but I'd be down to get into it if I had some people to
All
play
right,
with.
man. Yeah, we have like a couple of. I want to have like a couple of like the design community in general, like from like the Dreadlabs and friends community, I guess. And then
Yeah.
probably like I want to launch like a Patreon tier where people will actually help me like pay for the server to keep it up, and
Build
they
it.
can also join. And then we're just
Yeah.
gonna talk design on on Minecraft.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I miss playing that. I used to play it like before they on the Xbox before they even had like creative mode, so it was all just survival
Oh,
mode,
really?
and
Oh, wow.
we got everything from scratch. We used to do little glitches to like duplicate the coal and stuff and like
Oh,
everything.
damn.
Yeah, that game's so cool. People have made some really cool stuff in there with the wool too, like the different colored wool. They make
Yeah.
crazy pixel art. That's like
Yeah, that's
just
crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
There's also like at one point, like I don't know how it works, but they can also like, I guess, code stuff in Minecraft. Like there's also
Yeah.
someone who like designed like an actual Game Boy and played Pokemon on it, like in Minecraft.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but it was like super
They
weird.
just made a big update, I think I was seeing online too. There's
Yeah, they
like
had like they did a Caves and Cliffs update. There were like new mobs in there, and it was pretty fun. I've played it for a while. I think last Friday or something. But yeah, I want to get into it with like other people in from like
yeah.
the Dreadlabs community.
Yeah, I'm down. Let me know. I'll have to re-download it because I've been not playing too many games lately. I've been busy, but I love playing shit online. It's always fun when you have like actual people to talk to too, in a way.
Yeah, definitely. That makes it like way more fun. Like, and that's one of those things. Like Minecraft is fun, but it's way more fun when you're playing with friends or something. You know?
Yeah, by yourself, it's like a little sad. You're just
Yeah.
sitting there. It's like so mindless. You're just hunting for diamonds, just sitting there.
Like three hours later, you have 5 diamonds.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you, Jesse, for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, like I said, or like Jesse said, actually, if you want to follow Jesse, there's a link in the description. There's his Instagram and his YouTube channel, but he also has a Patreon channel, so you should really go check that out. With all of that being said, this was Tom from Dreadlabs and Jesse Nyberg tuning out, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.
All right, peace out, everyone.
Bye bye.